Hello, everyone. This is the 25th of February, and you are in The Gathering, home of the Heal the Earth Initiative and the Beacon Library. And welcome to the 8th Fire Continuum. I am Shonda with the Union of Nations, and we are going to bring our director up, Grandmother Gail Thomas.
Thank you so much, Shonda. I did a drumming journey and just finished it this past week. And we're to the water to bring in the drum and the flute again to balance our journey last time to the fire. We always work with the opposites and bring in the fire and the water. So I will bring in my ancestors, Galigia Kaweskoi, Dancing Heron, Dances with Death, Call Me Gail. In our river basin, Wayumi Ganaita and Takiosti, on our sacred mountain Adagul, which means helping many people. And we are the people who resisted both removal on the Trail of Tears and the reservation that the federal government calls Cherokee. We resisted by hiding in these mountains, and we continue to rely upon their sustenance, their support for appropriate resistance at this time in our world today. And so we're going to play 4 minutes of the drumming journey to water with the flute. And then I'm going to tell you the story of how this flute came about in relationship to the fire here on this sacred mountain. We're at a fire pit that's purified and made sacred, probably 500 Nipikaga traditional sweat lodge ceremonies. And that's been over the last 15 or more years. And it's beautiful to feel this connection to all the fires that I see that you all have, and to the 8th fire continuum that we also have as part of this fire. So Shonda is going to play this music so that we can entrain our heart and our mind and the hearts and minds of all of us here as we gather in community in these beautiful ways. So are you ready, Shonda?
No, it seems, yeah, it's giving me a headache over here. Keep going, sister. I'm
Okay, I'll
trying.
tell you a little more about this song. I've worked a lot with Noah Proudfoot playing the flute and many flutes. And he was our firekeeper here for a while. And he asked for his partner in the sacred union. And he looked into the fire after lodge ceremony here, and he saw the eyes of the jaguar. And more than a year later, he met the woman that he's engaged to now, who has those jaguar eyes. And she made the flute that you're going to hear when Shonda gets it ready. She actually brought that flute into being, and they are engaged to be married, and it's going to bring you all that beautiful, sweet love energy that they're carrying right now, as well as the energy of the water and the fire coming together. And of course, the water is the feminine and fire is the masculine. So we always work with reconciling the opposites, because that's where the creative energy comes from. And there's so much of it available when we honor it and we come into relationship with it and we roll with it in the ways of quantum physics, which is the magic, the help from our spirit helpers, the acausal, the non-linear things that happen in life that we really could not have imagined. So it's beyond our little humanness a bit, but it's beautiful things in life. It's our meaning and purpose, and that's why we come together in communities. So enjoy the song, drum and rattle along. So happy to share it with all of you today.
Can you guys hear it okay?
Not yet, Shonda. We did a little bit, but just barely. I saw it playing. There it is.
Okay.
Turn it up if you want. Thank you, Shonda. And thank you, everybody, for enjoying that music and that drumming journey to the water as we sit here with fire and we think about the full moon resolution of the fire in our heart, the actions that we take coming from the fire in our heart. That's the beautiful opportunity we have today to step into those actions of my ancient verb-based Salagi heritage and just maybe try starting your sentences with verbs and being verb-based and letting the nouns fly off the end of that circle and take a rest from this consumerism culture that we're in. Bring things back in balance a bit in that way. And then also we bring things into balance when we think about the four elements as they come together and they reconcile and they actually show us what transformation looks like. Think of the fire when it comes in contact with the water. We see it transform into steam and mist and all kinds of amazing warmth and moisture and balance and songs when the mist sings, and all the beauty that fire and water can create, the new life. And then we think about fire when it comes in contact with air all around us. Air feeds the fire, and you see it as it dances and it swirls and it makes circles, returns the world to circles for us. You can see that when fire and air come together. And then also the earth holds us all, holds the fire in the center of her belly, her heart. She holds the fire, and she actually brings us complete balance with all of the elements. Earth, our mother, these elements are all a big part of us. And of course, you know, we turn again to the air when we think about our controlled burns that I witnessed as a child. My family had 50-acre farm that we were able to do controlled burns on. And I remember seeing the fire just slowly crawling up the mountain, caressing everything in its path, gently, carefully. And I knew that that path is where I would find the berries in the spring and after the winter, you know, in the summer, the beautiful berries that grow in our mountains. And the fire would gently caress the trees and allow them to bring us the nuts that our society was based on. We're a nut-based society. So we had the chestnuts and we had the acorns and we had the beech nuts and the butternuts and all the amazing food we needed. The leaves of the beech trees in the spring and the birch trees, the black birch, and all the basswood, all the beautiful leaves that we were actually eating. That was our sustenance. You know, the federal troops came in and killed all the animals thinking they would starve us out of these mountains. But we knew the plant medicine, and the plants sustained us. Some people translate plants as those who help us, and they do. They help us in so many ways. And so the opposite of that controlled fire is the uncontrolled fire. And that can bring us a lot of very painful, deep teachings as well. And behind me here, you see we have a new lodge. Just finished it this week, and we're very happy to have those willows that came to us. You see this red thing just beyond the fire? This is our new lodge. And the willows were wonderful, and Nate is here with me holding the fire, and it was so good to gather those willows, and we tied them up into the lodge, and want to share a little bit of that experience with you. You know, coming back into lodge, I hear that a lot of people are coming back into lodge now, and I'm so happy to hear that. And the way we are on this land, on our sacred mountain, I see people come around the corner of the house, and they turn the corner, and the first thing they see is the fire. And if I happen to see them turn that corner, I can see their relationship to fire when they first encounter that glimpse, because it's a big fire when we're holding a lodge ceremony. It's got 28 stones and much bigger fire than you're seeing me with here today. And so I see people's face, and I see their reaction, and I see their connection. And what we're doing, this is our third fire on building a relationship with fire. So I can see before they're aware, when they're surprised by the image of the fire and the energy of the fire, I can see their relationship with fire. And a lot of them are mesmerized. And that was the original meditation teachings, to gaze into the fire. And we still do that. I don't know of anybody who can sit by a fire very long without being caught into the beauty of it and the gaze and the meditation that it brings, the presence, the awareness. All these things that get us through life in a good way are held and taught to us by fire. And I want to share my direct experience of a woman who came into our lodge community to heal a wound. It was a very deep wound. And I won't tell another story. I will only tell you my experience of her healing process. I saw her come around that corner, and it was one of those times when I thought I should leave a sign here that says, you can leave ordinary reality here and pick it up on your way out, because you're entering non-ordinary reality. When you come into a true ceremony, you're coming into the quantum physics way of nonlinear, acausal, beyond Newton and Newtonian thinking. You're coming into the magic. And I saw this woman come in such a deep, wounded way, and she didn't seem like she was sure she wanted to be here. She was a little concerned, I guess is the word. Or really deep, deeper than I'd seen anybody coming into these ways. And she'd come with a friend who sundanced at Canyon de Chelly and poured the lodge for us for a while. And I knew that she knew something I didn't, because often people would bring people who needed healing and needed help and needed the ceremonies in some way, and they wouldn't tell me their story because I just wanted to experience it, and I just wanted to see for myself and know for myself what transpired. And so I saw that woman walk up to the fire for the first time and just shake her head, and she walked up very slowly and very cautiously, and it was as if she was actually looking into an abyss. I had never seen that kind of depth or that kind of edge in anyone who came to the fire and came to the ceremony in this way. And it was several months. It was a very long time before I knew. I watched her in that depth and deal with things that I knew I had no understanding, no awareness of. And I could see her slowly, gradually, many months and many ceremonies, coming into a new way, coming alive almost, coming more into her gifts and her natural ways of being, her authenticity and her joy in life. And at that point, they began to tell me her story. And again, I won't tell another story, but I had the privilege and the honor of watching this woman heal a wound of losing a 3-year-old child who was burned alive in a house fire. And she was much younger. And she had carried that burden throughout her life. She carried that depth and that pain and that grief and that loss that goes beyond words. It's almost immeasurable. But she carried it here to the sacred mountain and to the ceremony that we were holding. And she shared it with us, and she trusted us. She trusted the ceremony. She trusted the ways, even though they were not hers and she didn't know them. But she came into a true transformation. She came into being a new person that she hadn't known was inside her. And she came to be grateful for that gift that she had experienced and that she had healed with us in community here on this mountain. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to share these ways with you in whatever way we can now, to really honor the mountain and the opportunities that we have to be in community. And I give this fire my tobacco holding with those prayers for all who have come here in these ways to reintegrate their inner being and connect and heal wounds. We all have some, and there's always time and room for healing. So I give that tobacco to the fire, and at this time, I want to call in my friend who has agreed to share his experience, his direct experience of being a fire dancer and walking through the fire and not getting burned, not even getting the feathers on his regalia burned. And these are two different ways of rising from the ashes. You know, we hear about rising from the ashes, and my Selagi birth sign is the heron, which is like the phoenix. This is our version of the phoenix that rises from the ashes. And that's why my name that was given by Grandmother Raven is Dances with Death, because I've done that so many times in my life. And if Thomas is ready, I want to thank Ari for taking his 8th fire ashes to be with Thomas on his land near Bakersfield, California, and also to share with us his experience of dancing with the fire and not being burned. Thomas, will you come in with us now, or is this the time that we add our ashes to this fire again? I did it when I first received the ashes on the winter solstice because that is bringing it in with the earth energies. I did it with just a tiny little bit of the ashes on my heart finger and then on a piece of wood, and I put that piece of wood into the fire. And
He's messaged he's not quite ready, Gal.
yeah, I saw that. If you'll just let me know when he's ready, then I'll stop talking and let him talk then. But I'm happy to go on and continue and move into our combination of ashes. I kept some in the envelope that they came to me in from John Raymer. I'm very grateful to Phil and Ejna and Joan and Adriana and all those who are carrying those ceremonies around the world and sharing them with us in the way of the ashes and in the way of this wonderful opportunity with Zoom that we can share so easily with each other all over the world. And so happy that we can do this. And I ask my firekeeper, Nate, to take that whole envelope this time and put it in this fire and transform it into the ashes that can carry us all and combine us with the 13 people who are here today holding fire and combining their ashes with the fire as well. And we will be happy to share the ashes from this fire and tie you into all 500 or so Anipikaga ceremonies on this sacred mountain and all the energy that we've created in doing ceremony and connecting with the spirits on this land and the spirit of this mountain and the tall standing trees. They are the ones who brought us fire and continue to make our fires possible. And as we join with people all over the world, we just share these energies, these ways that pass through the ethers, you know? And you can see that flame leaping up beside me here as those ashes burn with the ashes that were in the fire that you feel, and all of our beautiful community that was there burning that 8th fire and bringing together those elders who said it was time for us to do that, time for us to actually share fires and create that 8th fire that brings us into union. And you see that smoke rise up between the worlds, the lower worlds with our power animals and the higher world with our teachers. This is the axis mundi, the tree of life. that burns in the fire and rises from the ashes to connect us all in union in these beautiful ways. And that is the time of the eighth fire. And we're also aware of our prophecies, our Cherokee prophecies of the fourth world and the fifth world. The first world was the world of the stone people. That's why they are our elders. They've been here the longest on sweet Mother Earth. And they brought the water. And together with the water and the stones, they created the plants. The plants contributed so much that the three of them brought in the animals. And the animals are teaching us, we are still in that fourth world where the animals are teaching us to be our most human so that we can remain as humans in the fifth world. And we all know that there have been many humans, many waves of humans before us. There are insects who've been here long before us, many, many life forms that created the way for us to come in and be together as the best humans we can be. We know that, there's a line in one of my songs from the dream world that says, standing rocks remain forever, human beings come and go. We have a lot of transformation needed for us to be the wave of humans that remain on this earth for some time to come. We don't know how long, but we know that we are here because we all had ancestors that we can reach back to. We all share common ancestors in that first wave of humans that created the wave of humans we are in now. We can reach back there and we can unite and we can be more human than we are now. We can be as human as we can be and move into that fifth world together with the help of the animals, the plants, the water, and the stones. We have to recognize the spirit of all life around us in order to be together in these ways. That spirit is what unites us as one. And that's our goal of these 13 fires that we've gathered here today. And so we want to share the fires that are all around us and hold in our hearts that union that we hope we're creating, that we're doing everything we can to create at this time, in this opportunity that we have, and all coming together in these wonderful ways. And we're ready to move into those eighth fire continuums. We're happy to have the blessings of Chief Phil in creating this continuum opportunity for everyone to bring their fires and share in this way and share our ashes and bring all of our fire magic energy together in this way. And I'm thinking if Thomas is not ready, maybe we'll go on into our fires. And then when he's ready, he and Ari can bring their fire together to join the eighth fire continuum. Is that going to be the best way to proceed at this
Probably
time?
so. I think so. Non Claudia, are you ready? Okay, sister.
Hello, everybody. From my heart to your heart, my spirit to your spirit. I just want to sit there and say, heart of the heavens, heart of the sky, heart of the earth. We are here. We are here today on Hob Akabal. I am saying that because I also come to you today from the land of the Maya. I am in Guatemala, and we love our fires. We're always doing ceremonial fires. Every day is a good day for a fire. A little bit of an overhead play going by. Today, I decided to just have one candle because we need ashes. Here in these lands, we use candles, we use herbs, we use resins, we use the cacao for offerings, and that's how we build our fires. But to have ashes, I've collected some wood and I've put the ashes on the white candle that we use to light the fire. So that's what lit this fire today. For us, the fires are really important and what offerings and what we put into them. So since I was using wood today, I decided to share with you the physical properties of these wonderful woods that I'm using. I was able to harvest here at my mom's home wood from a fig tree and wood from a guava tree. Now, the fig tree is the element of fire. The fig tree also brings us knowledge, and it's about creativity, all the way from the roots to the fruits. This tree is used. It's used for love, it's used for protection and fertility. And again, the major aspect of it is the knowledge, the wisdom, and healing. So this wood brings us the physical strength and the resilience that we need at this time. So I thought that that was a great offering and something wonderful to start this fire with. The guava tree. I found out in looking it up that the guava tree has been being cultivated for at least an over 4,500 years, and that it originates from the land of the Maya. So I thought that was appropriate. It also brings strength, energy, and vitality. And it's also good for grounding and stability, which I also thought was great medicine, great properties for these times. Our grandmother Gail talked about balance with the elements, and now there's balance with the wood I'm using here as well. This wood is also, the guava is great for the heart chakra. It promotes love and compassion. It's great for emotional healing. It increases our intuition and our creativity as well. So not only is this fire part of the 8 fire ashes that have lit it as well, but we're also celebrating the day of Ho Akabal. Akabal here in the Maya land in the calendar, it means that period of time between the dusk and the dawn. It is that time just before the light hits. And on these days, we ask that the darkness protect us from any problems on our road and on our path. We ask on these days that our sleep and our dreams bring us rest. This is a good day to ask for anything that is hidden in the darkness to come to light. So I always look at the Mayan calendar, the Cholquí calendar, and I always find it's so interesting, the synchronicities of when we pick these ceremony days and when they happen to what aligns with the calendar. Part of that Hopi prophecy, the 8th fire, the Ashanabis, all of them, it's about peace and unification, but it's also about picking the better of the two roads. We are at that division point right now. Do we go down this road and down this path? Or do we take this road and this path, the spiritual road, the Sakbe, or in the north that they call the Red Road? Do we go back to our original teachings? Or do we worry and do we focus on the technology? So on this day at Kabal, again, we give thanks to the great creator and former, and we give thanks to the energy of Akabal. May everything become clear, in balance, and in love.
Oh, thank you, my sister.
Oh,
Yes.
Maldios,
Yeah.
Maldios.
Thank you so much. And show us your ceremonial bowl that you're burning your fire in. If you would, tell us a little about. I know you
I'm
can't
gonna
pick it
pick
up.
this up.
Probably not.
It's hot,
It is
but it is a
cold
clay.
and it's
It's
beautiful.
a clay bowl,
Shonda, we
and
can't.
here the Mayas had to fight for many, many decades, and they couldn't do their ceremonies. So if it was inside or if it was in the yard or wherever they could, they would light their fires. But instead of having open fires, they would use these bowls. So when I'm not out in the fields or out in the forest or out on the land, and today I'm here at my mother's in the city, so I use my ceremonial bowl, which has had many ceremonial fires. One of the last ones I did was last year for the Mayan New Year in February that we celebrate, which just passed recently. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Beautiful,
that's.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Red Clover Kate, are you ready?
Yes, Grand Rising from Western South Dakota. You know, when I was asked to participate in the sustaining of the eighth fire, I thought, what is the most ceremonial place close to me? And it's here at Bear Butte, these ceremonial grounds. And there was a medicine person by the name of Frank Foolscrow, and I knew he used to do a lot of lodges up there on the hill. So I came and I prayed a couple of days ago and to see if I could get reception. Anyway, I thought we're going to start a little fire up there. And so I came this morning with my shovel and my wood to go up and have a little fire. I posted it on Facebook and invited several people. But you know who was here? When I get out, I find Frank Fool Crow's granddaughter and great granddaughter. So while I add the ceremonial ashes from the eighth fire, and we're also bringing ashes from many other ceremonial fires, including the indigenous grandmothers from Lame Deer, the Star Knowledge Convergence, the Co-Creators Convergence, and the Gathering of Eagles here at the Peshla. So I want to introduce you to the great granddaughter, and she is going to say a prayer while I place the ashes in this sacred fire. That they were already up here for an Inipi, so we are joining efforts. And I want to introduce you to Miss Stephanie.
Tu washte, nape washte, choose papi. Ishtama kaglaki amani machapi. Na washitu ya Stephanie tu kroi machapi. Na mitcha tuahe na kita kene yuha. Kejuta hapu tuahe, kejuta on upi. Chapet kiwe voche ki on karag na. Aku washte oyati ki chimpiki hena. Onki chupikte. Wo ki wanglaki no ichozani. Good evening, relatives. Introduce myself. My name is Woman Walks Across Earth Alone, and my government name is Stephanie Tucro. And we come here today to make a prayer for all our relatives across Grandmother Earth and just have good blessings for everybody to come together as one and have good blessings for health, wellness, and the good things that we need in our life to manifest these beautiful blessings. And I'm very honored to be a part of your Zoom today. My great great grandfather, Grandpa Frank Foscrow, this was his place of prayer. This was his sanctuary, and he came here to pray for all the people, not just one, but all the people together. one heart, one mind, one prayer. So today we make a prayer for our women relatives, and we come here once a month to pray and put good energy out into the universe with all our elements, our water, our fire, the earth, and the wind. And we're all a part of this ecosystem, and together we make something beautiful for our relatives. 7 generations back, the 7th generation now, and the generations forward. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me this time and giving me the space to say a prayer for you. And I truly believe that we connect with our relatives when we pray in Lakota to bring them out, to come and help us in all the things that we need. So I'm going to do that at this time. Tukashla wa khatanka khatea topa unchimaka takushkunskana taku wa kanki hana. Tukashla ampeta gile wupila tanka geni chapi. Ampeta washtel ken yakupina hecha wupila ye. Tukashla wa kantanka ampeta gile takuku washteshte ni chila wa ye. Wo ke wanglak in which was ani washte. Oyatiki unshikap tukashla. Taku chilap seche. Unshilap no okyape. Chante zania yopia unchima kamani piki hecho unchipi tukashla. Tukashla wa kantanka ni jela ni wa kampina ni jela soyapi. Ampeta kileche up there somewhere in Chinupa Yohate on Najimpi, no watch you when you ha on Najimpi. Takuku washteshte ni jila waya tunkashla. Washagya umani pi unchipi tunkashla. Unshila pen okyape, woke mangla ke vichozani. Wopila tanka chiche tunkashla. Natafiase.
Thank you, grandmother. With that, I'm a witness to the magic of the Lakota ways. And we have Grandmother Gail. I thought that was a good idea to leave them in an envelope. So we've added them to sanctify these beautiful lands here in the Black Hills. Thank you for joining us. We'll be at odds thinking of and praying of you all.
Okay, thank you so much for taking us with you. That is such a sweet gift. So beautiful, sweet sisters.
Oh, thank you, Red Clover. Okay, is our fire dancer ready yet? I don't think so. Let's move to Freebird. Freebird, are you ready?
Yes, this is Freebird here, and I feel honored and quite blessed to be able to carry these ashes and participate in this 8 fire continuum. It is an absolute honor, and I am one who is all about the animals. We are animals too, but primarily the non-human animals. And so I'm also honored and blessed to be a part of the peace and dignity journey that is going to be taking place later in this year. And earlier this week, as I was contemplating the prayer for this 8th fire and was asked on another ceremony what our prayer would be for this time, I had been praying for peace, love, and dignity for all animals, human and non. And as I was thinking about that and meditating upon that during this other ceremony, I realized we are love. And so my prayer has shifted a little bit for peace, dignity, and freedom for all animals, human and non, which envelops that act of love. And so for me, love is more than a sentiment. It is a need. It is a hunger. It is a thirst. The fire keeps saging me, forgive me. Thirst that is absolutely natural. And for anyone who thinks that they can live happy, and be happy without love does not know what he or she is talking about, either psychologically, emotionally, or spiritually. So, love is a beginning and love is an end. It is an impulse in nature that cannot be denied. So, if we think about going beyond the individual to the source of all life, I believe that the whole universe, pardon me, she keeps staging me. So I get caught up in the smoke. Forgive me. So I believe that the whole universe is a givingness of this creative spirit, the great spirit, to the delight of its own being. Love is the principle of life, for it is the nature of everything to give. Only the one who loves so much that there is no longer any room for hate will ever arrive at that place where, if there may be hate, we would never know it. What we can be afraid of is our greatness, because we are so tied down to the littleness. We clutch that littleness anxiously and jealously, but so precariously to our hearts. It is essential for us to see beyond that littleness to something bigger. None of us is perfect in expression as we ought to be. So the challenge that I would like to bring to each of us is to be great enough to rise in this love, in this charity, through understanding and compassion, and that love is the lodestone of life. May we respond lovingly to all persons, recognizing that the spiritual life is the real life. And may we surround ourselves with that love, that key to joyous living, where peace, dignity, and freedom joins us all. And so in my little singing bowl here, I don't know if you can hear it, I have the eighth fire ashes that I took out of the envelope. I put the envelope in the fire earlier, along with some little stars, some crystals for each one of us. There's quite a few in here. And I placed that prayer into our eighth fire and the stars that we are in our hearts, each and every one of us, human and non. Hey, hey. Thank you. Aho matakias. Namaste, all my relations. And so it is. And I lovingly.
Well, sister, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Freebird. Shonda, who's up next to speak to the fire and to speak of their relationship to fire? Is Thomas ready? Is our fire dancer ready? Or is someone else ready?
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. It's like Michael's got his camera on now. Michael, come on in.
Great.
Well, he was there. Michael, we have you spotlighted. Are you there? Okay. Let's. Michael, can you hear us? There he is. There he is.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, come on in.
Great. Thank you. So I just want to thank everyone for being here to continue connecting our sacred fires. And of course, over the last few months, I'm realizing how many different circles within circles there are. And I'm very honored to be here because at this time to be able to bridge so many circles and so many different religions and cultures and tribes is really the great work that many of us are here for. So I'll be very brief that again, I'm Michael DiMartino. I am an interfaith minister, and my work spiritually is very committed to finding what I call the pearls of truth, finding those fibers of the sacred hoop that weave together, that form and express and support the common unity, the spiritual unity that we all have, regardless of whatever age, race, religion, gender we might be. That for me, really the big work is about weaving the sacred hoop together, very much in Lakota Black Elk's vision. So, and it parallels to many different cultures and traditions, but I'm very honored here today to be part of the sacred monthly 8th fire. And this will be the second fire lighting, and I'm really happy that Earth Mother Network and Shonda and Gail and all of you will continue to keep this lineage going. So I didn't want to speak too much, but I wanted to offer a song, and then I was going to invite my partner from Bulgaria to come join us. But I do want to say we are holding the sacred fire today in southern Colorado, next to the town of Crestone and the Camino Baca Grande. But we're actually on what we would consider county land. But as we know, that this is just land. This is Mother Earth, and regardless of towns or counties or states or countries and borders, that this is all a fabrication of the colonial patriarchal mindset. So I am here at the foothills of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, 14,000-foot mountain peaks, and even those are a Spanish name. But nonetheless, it gives you an idea of where we are. We're at the beginning of the waters of the great Rio Grande River. And I'm just happy to be able to hold space for this sacred fire. So I wanted to share a song, and I'm going to make sure I have my correct audio on. And enable original audio. So I just want to confirm you can hear it, because for me, as a drummer, again, rhythm is a universal language. And what I'd like to express today is not all with words. So I'll hit the drum a few times. I want to make sure that it is coming through.
Yeah, you're good, Mike.
Yes?
Yes, you're good.
Thank you. So just to explain for a moment, I'm going to start with just this is a Tibetan bowl, just a moment of silence. And as this frequency goes out and continues to connect our sacred fires around the world, I'll make my offerings of the ashes that have traveled from here, came from Nevada City, which came from Shonda sending those out from the original fire with Chief Phil. So we're just going to ask for a moment of silence, and then we'll proceed. Thank you. If you'd like to close your eyes, there's nothing to see here. You probably see and hear this too much. So I want to invite you to close your eyes and open your ears and your heart with the sacred elements: earth, water, fire, air, spirit. Just walk around and clear energy. Next neighbor.
Shall I take my small drum?
Just come join me. We only have another minute. So I want to thank my partner Gagana for joining me, because we know the big medicine now is the balance between the divine masculine and the feminine and the elementals. So even though it's not always an easy journey, I want to thank her for joining this Sacred Fire broadcast. Drupa, Drupa, Wanna say hey wanna say, wanna say, wanna say hey Drupa, Drupa, wanna say hey wanna say, wanna say, wanna say hey Drupa, Drupa, wanna say hey wanna say, wanna say, wanna say hey Yo! Drupa, Drupa, wanna say hey wanna say, wanna say, wanna say hey Drupa, Drupa, wanna say hey wanna say, wanna say, wanna say hey
Thank you so much, Michael. Very beautiful song. My dog sent you a boop.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Michael.
Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna go straight down the line. Who shows up first? Let me see. Freebird Michael. Ari, is Thomas ready yet? Oh, it looks like Thomas is logged in separately. Thomas, are you there? Okay, not quite. I did hear from Grandfather Alex White Plume. He will be in close to 3.
Oh, good. That's
Yeah,
great news. Thank you.
yeah, it is great news. Kelly,
Mhm.
are you there? Kelly Boone? There she is, beautiful Kelly. Come on in.
Hello, greetings. Can you hear me?
Yes, Kelly, welcome.
Okay, I'm on my phone. I could not get my internet to work on my computer, so this is kind of a new thing for me to do on video. So I'm still kind of old school. Okay, I'm trying to prop you up here. I am so grateful to be a part of this today, and um, I'm gonna probably move a little bit because my back is a little too close to the fire here. I'm in Iowa, the heart of the heartland. Can you hear me okay still if I stand back?
Yes, you're fine, Kelly. Just lost your video though.
Well, I tend to have a lot of clown energy, so I'm getting this replays.
Kelly, also at the end of your offering, will you please mention about the custom painted drums for the fundraiser for Palenque, please?
Absolutely. Thank you, Shanta. Okay, so in the heart of Iowa, in my backyard, in the center of the largest city in Iowa, which is not huge, Des Moines. And it's very interesting to have this amazing sacred space in the heart of the city. But it's very intentional, and the trees and the life that's all here, I know has prepared for this for a very long time. And so it's been lovely listening to everyone speak and talk about the beautiful trees that have given to the fires here. And there's a very large walnut, I don't know if you can see it behind me, was struck by lightning many years ago while I was in Sweat Lodge. And she's my grandmother tree. So I'm very, very connected to them, to the trees here. So I'm just going to drum a little bit and offer a little song. So I guess I have to figure out how to adjust my sound. Let's see. Oh, I don't know if I can do that on here. Can anybody help me, or do I have to do it?
Are you on the iPhone, Kelly?
No, I'm on an Android.
Okay. You should be able to go right beside your microphone. There's an up caret. There's a little up caret, and go to audio settings. And in audio settings, under audio profile, you will find original sound for musicians.
Kelly, you may just want to try it and see.
Yeah, try it.
You seem to be muted right now, though. We can't hear you speaking either. Maybe we can give you a little time with that and come back. We don't have a lot of time left for Grandfather Alex and Thomas. We can't hear you, Kelly.
Kelly, can you hear us? Give us a thumbs up if you can, Kelly. Can you hear us? Yeah, we've lost her. What's Ursula's running a chat. Ursula, can you message Kelly that we'll come back to her, please?
Yeah, we need to speed things up just a little bit so we'll have time for Grandfather Alex and Thomas.
Will do. Yep. Okay, let's go back. Let's see who we have left here. Let's bring in Marco. Marco, are you ready? Marco.
I know. How can somebody
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Go ahead, Marco.
All right, I am definitely very honored to have been asked to help, pass the lighting the eighth fire and passing the ashes on. And in this area here, the Great Lakes, 25% of the world's fresh water, surface fresh water, home of many, many indigenous over the years. And I'm honored to be able to add these ashes to Michigan.
Show us the fire dance today and dance to the fire.
Go ahead, Marco.
Oh, did we miss everything I said so far?
No, you're good. You're good.
Oh,
You're
I'm good.
just
Okay,
speeding
yeah.
up a little
No,
bit.
I'm just, yeah, no, I'm just, it's an amazingly sunny day here in Michigan with no snow on the ground. It's like a spring weather that we shouldn't have, but for another 2 months. So it's a little unnerving how the how the global problems are progressing. But as we pass these fires and connect, I think we're going to outpace the disaster and we will make everything right with the world. Be in the garden. We'll have the garden this place was designed to be.
Can we put up a blanket over there so the wind won't get to the fire? Is there anything we can do?
And with that, I am
Take a
complete.
chair and the blanket, if you can, Nate.
Gail, your mic's on.
Oh.
Okay, are you complete, Marco?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Looks like Kelly's still talking. Kelly, can you hear us? I think she's okay. Oh my goodness. Ursula, did you private message her? She may not be looking at chat. Molly, are you ready?
She's not available on chat.
Molly, come on in, please. Are you ready? Yeah, I can come in. Hello, Molly. My spirit name is White Feather Curry Sage, and I'm joining you today from London, UK. And the nearest body of water is River Thames, and I'm very, very grateful. Just one second. I'm very grateful to be in this space, and very, very honored to be able to join this eighth fire. The infinity hoop is what it came to me, and I'm joining you from heart of London City. And what I would like to offer to this new baby fire, which didn't receive any ashes as yet, but it hopes to weave the ashes through the future. So what I would like to offer to this fire today is some plants and some plant spirits. And the first one that I would like to offer is some sage. Which can help us to connect more with the spiritual realms and for clearing and all that is not serving us. So I'm going to offer some sage.
Then another plant I would like to offer is rosemary, and that would be for remembering, to help us all remember the right ways to walk, especially those who are still not. I'm offering some rosemary. Another plant that I would like to offer is some olive, and this one is for peace. And I'm thinking about all the olive trees in the Far East and all the people of that land. So I'm sending all this, offering all these olives for the prayers for peace. May peace come to all of us. And the last herb I would like to offer is a lavender. And this is a one of something is very close to my heart, and this one is to bring us all sweetness and to help us all open a heart chakra to be more in tune with the heart space and live from that space. So there it is. So yeah, thank you so much for giving me this possibility to join this beautiful fire space, and I am sending lots of love from my heart to yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly.
Thank you, Molly. That's a beautiful fire going there in the area where Charlie Chaplin lived so long ago, and the fireplace was there then holding ashes. So we look forward to joining that energy soon. Thank you, Molly.
Ari, are you ready? There you are.
Hi.
Here you are.
We'll set up here with the chair. Showing that. Yeah. So,
Ari, your audio's chopping.
like, is that still choppy? All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm Carlos Ariel. Very honored to be chosen to be a fire keeper for this. This is really my first fire keeping experience. So Thomas was here showing me how to do it properly. We got this beautiful fire pit built over these past couple days, and it's been wonderful here. It's got white deer that are super precious. But yeah, I think this whole journey for me, and I think I'll start as, I mean, this has been, I guess, a chasing some kind of healing and trying to find myself in places like this that are, bringing together unity. And I've shed so many tears this week of just coming to my realizations. And this fire is really doing that for me, and the words that were shared, songs. It's really wonderful, and I'm so honored to be a part of this. So, yeah, thank you, and continue to bring this message of nurturing and coming together and simplicity. My own life in a lot of ways, and I think we all do that.
can be subject to that. And we get too distracted with all the shiny things that we forget about each other and what we're feeling. I think we can hold more space for that. So this has been really cracking open my heart to hold more space for that. And just getting out here these past couple months has been a journey of encountering so many people. Just that reflection of me, and has really humbled me in a lot of my own, I guess, personality attributes that are just trauma bonded. Yeah, this has been a wonderful experience for us. Thank you. Thomas is gonna be ready just yet, but appreciate being a part of this. God bless you all.
Thank you, Ari, and thank you for traveling out there to take your ashes to be with my brother Thomas and the animals on land that he rescues.
And I guess I need to add my ashes to this fire right now while we're. So let me do that here.
This is also a fire that's held many ceremonies over time. I think Thomas has been there 10 years on the land.
Yeah, and we're definitely looking to make some improvements around this property. It's beautiful, 60 acres up on the hill. It's a very, very magical place. We're going to be bringing some more people out here to do some work and have some work parties, dance drum circle. Just bring it all together.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah, that needs to happen. He's living off grid. So if anyone wants to see what that looks like and have an experience of it, get in touch with Thomas or Ari and they'll help you do that and support the animals, the rescuing of the animals in a good way.
Thank you, brother. Message us when Thomas is ready. Sister Becky Big Canoe, did you say you were putting a fire up?
Hi. Yeah, I lit my wood stove in my little straw bale house here. Hope that qualifies.
Yes, ma'am. Come on in, Becky.
You got
Grandmother Gail, have you met Becky Big Canoe yet?
greetings. Nice to be here with you. It's what
Oh,
wonderful
have it.
ceremony.
Hi.
Hi. I'm kind of new in these circles here, and I'm just enjoying everything I'm listening to and feeling it in my heart. It's wonderful. Save me much. I'll put some tobacco in my fire in a little while and a spirit plate for all of you.
Awesome. Thank you, sister. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Kelly Boone, are you back? Are you ready again? Try to see if Kelly's audio works. Kelly, are you there?
She's not ready. I think I see the chat that Thomas is ready.
Oh, Thomas is ready. Okay, back to Ari's. Let me find Ari again. There he is.
It's on. I don't want to. Too late. Haku, you guys there?
Haku, Thomas. Yeah, we're happy to see you. We're here.
All right. So, like, first of all, I ended this with aku. Aku in our language is breath. It's also the word saku is in there, which means that you respect. So it's kind of like you respect a person's life because your life exists from your beginning breath all the way to your last breath while you're in this body pretty much. So earlier I was having a problem trying to balance because when I came down to the one area, I seen that the deer had got control of things last night and was eating all the foods that we had prepared for breakfast. And then along came the horse and decided she wanted some too. And then I switched up to the lodge up here and the horse came up here. And then we had wind and all kinds of problems getting our fire going. And I'm not sure about your guys' circle and stuff. I'm trying to learn. But I was first introduced to the fire. We had a flame of peace that was ignited over in Kansas back in 1986. And the Shumashmai people, the flame came out here where we're the keepers of the Western Gate. I'm hearing all kinds of noise, so I don't know if I'm here or not. No, it's okay.
You're good. You're good. Yeah, thank you. Keep going.
Okay, so we're the keepers of the flame of peace in the West, and that's been since 1986 when it was struck. I was fortunate to meet this lady about 20 years ago or something, and her family was working to take down the Berlin Wall, and her name, I don't remember her whole story, but her name had something to do with peace in it. It was in a different language. So I was able to actually meet her during one of these different summits that I go to periodically for peace and stuff. So I was honored that way, and I'm honored here now to be part of you guys' circle, starting up with your 8 fires and stuff, and trying to unite all of our people. Because a lot of times during the winter solstice ceremony, I usually let people know to bring them, if they don't have a fire that they can get to, I advise them to get a candle and burn a candle during that time. Because in our culture, we have 5 non-existent days, and so those days is when we have the fire going consistently. And I've learned how to kind of use a little kerosene lantern sometimes because it gets pretty cold out here. So I'm like, I'll just do that with a little fire representative too, to connect with everybody. So one of the things that we would tell these people is to connect to our elders' fire. You know, we had some people and the fire would be in our hearts. And I wasn't quite an elder when I started saying that. Now I'm one. But that's what I would say. This is our elders, our fire in our hearts and stuff. And I heard somebody say earlier about love is important because love is haku. Love is our breath of life. And that's how we connect with everything, animals, the plant, people, all things is with our breath. And that was the thing, like when we were talking earlier about, like I danced with the fire. Okay, I was one of the first ones of our traditional dancers that could actually dance into the fire. And I was getting a pretty big ego about that. Really thought I was something special. And one day I was going into the forest where I had one of my people up on the hill to doing a vision quest, and this one tree kind of called me to the side, and I went over there and was talking to it. And it's like, you really think you're special, don't you? And I'm like, of course. You know, I can dance in the fire and everything. Nobody else in my tribe can do it. And they've been trying and trying. They just can't get it together. And for some reason, I thought I had gotten it together. Also, I was dancing with a bear skin that kind of got appropriated from some university or something like that. So I was dancing with that as well. And so I felt protected. And then this tree was like, well, you're so special. Can you stand in a fire and be burned? And then still continue to be here and give life, come back to life in that. And I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not gonna stand in a fire. You think I'm crazy? I'm gonna move through that and I'm gonna dance, but I'm gonna move. And so this tree's going, well, can you stand here for a couple of years? I'm like, no, I can't. Stop messing with me. Just leave me alone. I gotta go about my business. So that was one of my experiences. It was very humbling because after a while, I started thinking about some stuff that was in the conversation with the tree myself. And so, I mean, there's a lot to learn out there, and sometimes we have to be really careful about it. I know I do, about getting an eagle and getting too far out there with the eagle. And fortunately, like here, like having this piece of land now, I received it because somebody who was supposed to be working with training us, had kind of went against some of the stuff we believed in. And so they're saying that the animals that we're rescuing and all that, and myself, we're all evicted. And so my other friends, they helped me to find this land here and help, to buy it so that there would, that myself nor the animals would ever get evicted. And so a couple of years ago, I finally paid off the last of the loan, and then COVID happened. And right at the time of COVID happened, this one guy had contacted me, and he had said, "Hey man, there's a restaurant and they got closed down, but they got some deer that were gonna be, served up over there, and now the deer have nowhere to go." And he goes, "You got $3,000?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, give it to me and I'll deliver the deer to you." I'm like, "Okay." So they brought the deer here, and they were supposedly, these deer were atlas deer. They're supposed to be like spotted deer with these big old long antlers. And when they showed up, my neighbors had told me those aren't atlas, they're something else. They're a little bit small, and because we were going to create another form of yoga, we were going to like, let's do atlas yoga. Those are different poses and stuff that we could do. And instead of doing goat yoga, we'll do atlas. But I'm like, okay, so we don't have atlas deer. Now what are we going to do? And then the one deer, she had a baby, and it was a white one. And she meant to be a white buck. And next year, another white one. And it had a little red nose, and we were like, oh, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And so that's where we're at now. Now this buck is white, and his nose is kind of a little bit pinkish, but we didn't really interact with him. We tried to keep him wild in a way because the government said that they needed to be registered and all this stuff. So they're here. They're under our protection, but sometimes they're a little bit too free, even though we're letting them run 20 acres and that there's a lot of different vegetation for them to eat. But they want whatever humans have. And it's kind of like when they were saying earlier, they reminded me of when they're saying that we're all, humans in different ways in different time periods. And these ones, they're here. I don't know how they're going to unite us or what they're going to do for us, but I know for sure that they're here and that they're more special than I am. I'm just a guardian here, just a caretaker. But I wanted to share that with you guys to know that there is other beings here that are legitimate, not no outer space beings or nothing like that where people talk about. These are beings here that have been here the whole time we've been here. And they're sacred. So with that there, and then the fire here, we have a lot of sacred things. We have a lot of wonderful gifts in this lifetime. I mean, most of us I've seen, we're all in that age where we were involved with the Cold War. We knew about it. Now we got little trickery stuff going on now, and just trying to mess us up. But the thing is we have, no matter how long we're here, we have a lot of wonderful things, and that's, I guess, what you would talk about, like with the Phoenix Rising. We just have all these things here, all these blessings. So again, I want to say haku to you guys, and thank you for listening. Oh,
Oh, good. Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, very sweet what you share.
well, I want to listen to him.
Shonda, who's up? You there, Shonda?
Yes, I am. I'm staring. Okay. Kelly, are you back? Okay. Mike Brunt, Cascadia Sea Guild. He didn't have any reception, but he did a little video. Mike, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Wonderful. Come on in, Mike.
Yeah. So I did take some video and I took some photographs where the fire is. And I put it in where it is for a specific reason, but unfortunately there wasn't much of a reception there. So let me say the reason why I put it there. On the 14th of January this year, we experienced an event the likes of which I've never seen in my life. We had and it relates to water. We had overnight an ice storm, but a very different kind. So the point is, the following day, I was out on a farm as well at the time, taking care of animals. Anyway, the following day, it was literally like a skating rink. The whole of everything was coated in ice. Even I've got photographs of this. Even bird feeders were completely encased in ice, and obviously the animals were suffering. But the other reason that I put the fire where I put it is because of that particular storm. Eugene, sorry, I should say where I'm at. I'm in Eugene, Oregon, which is Calapooya territory. Because of the ice storm, we actually had two in the space of 4 days. They were different though, but many of the trees came down. So I put the fire next to it. Well, I actually used some of one of the trees that came down here. I used some of the wood for the fire. That wasn't optimal because it was still damp, but some of it burned. And one thing that delighted me to see on this tree that was still alive was lichen, and lichen is a very magical. I don't think it is a plant in actual fact, but it's very magical. If ever you see, so it looks a little bit like moss, but it's not quite as soft. I don't know if that's the right word. Anyway, the point is, wherever you see lichen on a tree, and it's deciduous trees, so trees that lose their leaves in winter, that tells you that the air is pure, because lichen doesn't live where the air isn't pure. So you won't see it on trees next to highways, for instance. So it was just a very magical experience for me to be out there thinking about the water. Oh, the other thing, very close by, is a little creek, and it's called Amazon Creek. And I was reflecting on the fact that all the damage that's been done to the Amazon is is obviously not good for us. Anyway, I did put the ashes that you very kindly sent me into the fire, and obviously I'll gather the ashes that are left after they've cooled down. And what I'd like to say is thank you very much for asking me to giving me the honor of doing this. It's the first time, so as with everything in life, I'll get better as time goes by. And thanks to all of you for honoring our mother, and we all have to do that. So thanks very much.
Keith has our nature walk. Keith, can you hear us?
Yes.
Hi, Keith. Why don't you tell us what you're connecting here to on this walk?
Well, with the shift like everybody's feeling now, or we're like in between worlds, I think it's a call for us to come back to the mother. As Mike said, the mother's so important. It is all of our mother. And connecting with her, we're basically batteries on this earth. And we eat these foods that give us a full belly, but doesn't really charge us. When you're out here in nature, you get the charge from mother. When you take off your shoes and you walk in the grass, you get the electrons from the earth into your body. You charge, you get more charge sitting under a tree and more positive energy with the trees and the flowers and the birds and the bees. Connecting with mother is so important. It's like I said, it's our charge, it's our food. It comes from the living food that we eat. And just being out here now, connecting with the trees, it removes negative energy from my mind. It puts me in a place of solitude and connection with the mother. And I feel better for it. And I have my heart so full for her. Everything that she's gone through that we humans have done. The interesting thing is, if we lose the bees, we lose the world. If we lose the animals, the four-legged animals, we lose the world. If we lose humans, the world thrives. It's so important to give back to the mother and stop taking. She gives so much to us every day.
Oh, thank you, Keith. Well, we're just going to leave you spotlighted because I've seen this journey before and it gets beautiful. Thank you for bringing us here today, Keith. Michelle, are you there? I was wondering if you might have a fire going back there, or you'd like to come in and say hello. Okay, we're going down the line here. Susan, come in and talk to us, please. We're going to hang out a second, Gail. Grandfather Alex is supposed to be in at 3, so I'm going to wait and see if he comes in.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Come on in, Susan.
Yes, hi. Thank you. My my English name is Susan. My Hebrew name is Chaaksik. It means eagle daughter. And my Hebrew name is Sarah. I am here on the edge of the Lummi Reservation in Coast Salish people. But I was adopted by my elder, Jim Walton Klaak. I am Eagle Moiety, Pagwantan Wolf Clan. My house is the Eagle Nest House, Chak Hootie Hit. And I'm honored to be here today. I brought some sacred things. I do have a candle lit, but I wanted to share a few things. This is sage from the Chumash country that was given to me by my elder grandmother, Adelina Alva Padilla, who was the spiritual leader of the Chumash tribe who passed away very recently. And it's very sacred. And I lit some to be a part of this 8th fire. And I also wanted to bring some of the feathers that I'm going to be bringing down to the 8th fire ceremony in Palenque. I have a feather from Australia, the golden eagle. And I have a feather from Alaska that was given to me as part of the the Gathering of Eagles, which was started by my elder, Jim Walton, in the 1970s after he visited the family of Black Elk and met with the great-grandson of Black Elk and asked for permission to bring together the tribes, the sacred tribes, as part of the spiritual unity of the tribes gatherings, which he began. And this is going to be a feather that's gifted to the 8th fire in Palenque. And I also have another sacred eagle feather that was gifted to me as part of my grandmother's journey. And I wanted to share very, very briefly that one of the greatest gifts of traveling from Siberia to Patagonia as part of the mission that was put in my heart by my elder to find out why the wisdom of the grandmothers and the voices of the grandmothers is so important at this time. And what I learned as I traveled that journey over many, many years, from the farthest north place on the earth where people live in northern Siberia in the Saha Republic, where their bird is the beautiful white swan, down to almost the farthest south place on the earth in Argentina, where people gathered and where we had a sacred ceremony, and everywhere in between where I was blessed to meet so many beautiful elders. And what I learned about the need for the voices of the wisdom of the grandmothers at this time is that as we walk that good red road, which is the longest journey from the head to the heart, which is also the journey of the human being, as we walk that road and we bring forward the voices and the wisdom of the grandmothers into this world, we will have peace. And the prophecy that there won't be peace on earth until the voices of the grandmothers are heard is one that is shared by every tribe from Patagonia all the way to Siberia and everywhere in between. So my prayer today at this sacred fire, as I brought out my sacred objects for the first time in a long time, all together, that were given to me along the journey, along with the stones from Peru, and along with many, many other sacred objects, I realized that these objects are for this time, for this sacred fire. And I'm so grateful for the words of our elders that have been spoken today, but especially from the words that were given from the tree to grandfather, Brother Thomas, about the need for humility. Because one of the things that came forward from the grandmothers is that their love and their humility and their giving is like the wisdom of our Mother Earth, always giving, and never asking for anything in return. And I learned from them that all she's asking from us in this time is that we will recognize her, that we will listen to her voice, and that we will come to her and to the fire with the humility that is needed for all of us to come together and put aside our differences and speak from the fire which is in our heart. So I offer that to the fire today with prayers for all of us to come together in our sacred unity, and that we will light the fire in our heart, and when we will use our voices, no matter how inadequate we may feel, that we will use our voices to speak from our hearts so that we can bring peace and unity into this world. Gunashish ahomatakwiasit.
Thank you, Grandmother Susan. It's an honor to have you here today. Sister Ingrid, will you please take over spotlight, take over hostess? I need to take a quick break. And let's bring in everyone who hasn't spoken. I believe Deborah and Maureen. Let's bring them. Maureen, let's bring you in first. Are you there?
How long, Shonda, do you think it's going to be?
We have 30 minutes, Gail. Did you want to do something else, or?
I just want to sing a gratitude song to close out the fire section before the other presentations start, but I can wait for Father Alex if you want.
That's what we're doing. I'm waiting for Grandfather. We're
Okay.
presentations start at 3:30, but we're out of fire ceremony here, so I thought we'd just let everybody have a blessing here really quick. We do have 30 minutes. We can maybe say 15. He said he would be here at 3. If he comes in, Ingrid, let's go straight to him. I'll be back in probably about 10.
Shonda, Kelly's just said, okay, yes, I can do it now. If she can come in.
Okay. Maureen, go ahead. Tell Kelly, message Kelly and tell her we'll have her here in about 5.
In about 5, okay.
Thank you, Lynn.
Well, I just love this opportunity to share my gratitude and all the blessings. And I look forward to being the bridging first presenter this afternoon in half an hour. So I'm just feeling blessed by all the smudging of all the smokes, of all the contributions, of all of the ashes that have been at one in that originating 8th fire ceremony, as we now bring our individuated energies and blessings of those ashes into that wholeness of the global fire ceremonies here today. So blessed to be here. And so I thank you all for your blessings.
Thank you for sharing. Kelly, I see you're back.
Sorry about that. I gotta grab my glasses real quick.
Okay. And who else were we looking to bring into the space before Grandmother Gail wraps us up? And I see Keith is still on his walkabout.
I would also just like to add in that I'm so grateful for my background experience working with the First Nations people here in Canada. I'm from Vancouver, and then also the honor I had in teaching and work empowering all of the intergenerational groups all over the US for the Bureau of Indian Affairs Office of Indian Education School. So been blessed so much with so much so much inclusion, so much oneness in all of our diversities. So it kind of is that blessed gratitude that I have holding background as we are now expressing our individuated fires and the passions of our hearts and the sacred words that are emerging with the smoke to bless us all. So I just want to add that small piece in.
Thank you.
We're waiting for Alex, Plume White, and Kelly should be in a minute. Whoever was asking just now, can't remember who's doing it.
Well,
Ingrid, I think it's Deborah and Lynn and Amanda that we haven't heard from yet. And
oh, Kelly's here.
No, and when Kelly's ready,
yeah.
Hello
Before we start.
I'm so sorry. This has been so discombobulated for me today, but no, it's all good. I'm just very, very grateful to be a part of this community and to listen and share, and this is a sacred time to be together, and I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this my whole life, and I'm sure most of you have too. So I would like to share a little bit through my drum today. So let me see if I can, there we go. not sure what time it is where each of you are, but I'm going to go ahead and do this as if it were morning, even though it's afternoon here. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Good morning, Grandfather Light. Good morning, beautiful people. Today will surely shine bright. We rise, we rise. We rise like the morning light. We rise, we rise. We rise like a bird in flight. I love you so much, so much, so much. Hey ah, hey ah, ho, hey ah, hey ah, hey ah, ho. And I also wanted to share that for the gathering in Palenque, Mexico next month, as we move towards peace on earth, I have offered to create shamanic drums for individuals who contribute $2,000 towards the funds for Palenque. This is another one that I just finished a month or two ago. So I will work with those things that are important for you with your connections through spirit, do a drawing, and run it through the person before it's painted, and then the drum will be delivered to you. So if that's something that you're interested in, that would be my way of helping to support. So if you are able to contribute $2,000 towards the cause, just when you share, make sure that you make it clear that you are interested in a shamanic drum through Kelly Boone. And I'm with the Pearl. Pearl is people engaging in the arts, rejoicing in life. And this is my purpose that I've been brought to earth for. And they are the 12 pearl gates to heaven on earth. In the time that we are in the midst of now, we are starting with creating a massive Stonehenge that will be twice the size of the original, 13-foot stones stacked on top of each other, with paintings like the one you see in the background here that are portals that will be printed onto these stones in a medicine wheel. The first one was likely to be at Red Cloud Buttes in Nebraska here in the States. So your prayers to help support that will be awesome, because we're on a pretty short timeline. We'd like to at least get it started in preparation for the solstice in June, so that we can create this space for people to visit and to plant their seeds for the new world. So thank you for coming together and including me in this sacred gathering, and I'm excited to see where we go from here. Aho Mitakoyase.
Thank you. Hey, I'm fortunate to have my visiting. I don't know why I have an echo. Is your mic off, Kelly? Yeah, my friend Akichte, oh, thank you, Kelly, just showed up. So we're going to ask him to share his experiences on fire spontaneously here on Zoom, if he will, since we have a little time before Grandfather Alex White Plume arrives. If that's okay with everybody. Akichte, if you will come here behind me and speak to my friends on Zoom.
Okay, this is my friend David.
Hi, David. Welcome. Yeah, we're all here by the fire, and we're on Zoom with people all over the world. So you're in a great spot, Akichte. We're sharing our relationship with fire. Akichte is the Taino Musician of the Year, so he makes the wooden drums that are specific to his culture and very beautiful. So I'm sure he has a lot of experience in relationship with fire that he can share with us today.
So What do you have going on there? Are they on there right now?
Yeah, there's 22 people listening to you right
Oh,
now.
oh, hello,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome. It's nice to meet you all. It's good to be here in North Carolina.
Can you hear him okay, or do I need to turn on original sound?
We
Sounds
can
good.
hear him, but we can't see him. Where is he?
He's there. He's right here. See him now?
Wave.
Okay, keep talking and
Okay.
keep chatting. Figure out where you are.
Yeah, so the fire in the Taino culture is like we call it the flame of love, and it's their connection to the ancestors. And so that's why it's always at the center of ceremony, because we always have that connection with the ancestors like that. And so lighting the fire, collecting the wood, all of that has an important effect, on how we collect the wood and giving some offerings as we're doing that. And we build the fire, we give the offerings to the directions. Each tribe, or some tribes, have different amount of directions that they offer to. And so as long as we include all of creation in those offerings, if we say 7 directions or 5 or 4, doesn't matter, just as long as you include everything in that whole offering when we start the fire. And so in my culture, in the center of the fire, we have a grandfather. We call him Urayo. And he actually helps us to have that connection with the ancestors. And so that's what it means to us. It's that connection with the ancestors. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for being spontaneous. Sharing with us on the spot. Akichite, very beautiful to have you come in.
Yeah.
Mhm. Is Grandfather Alex here by any chance, or is there anyone else that we need to?
Well, I noticed that Ari had his hand up, and I'm not sure if he's wanting to add something again. And then if we want also to ask Lynn and Ursula and Amanda to speak into the space that they have not shared yet.
Beautiful, Ingrid. Thank you so much.
Ari, did you want to add something again?
Yeah, it really comes to something with you, but just around the wood that we're burning here, taking that from the earth, it's important to give back and to plant more trees and plant new things in the earth. Just,
Ari, we're having some trouble with your audio. Could you check your audio?
Yeah, I think we just lost him.
Is that a little better?
Yeah, speaking closer to the microphone is good.
But yeah, all this wood that we're burning, we collected, chopped, all that is taken from the earth, and it's important to give back and plant new trees, plant new plants, plant things that are going to nourish the land. So that's an important part of this as we're burning all this wood, this past life.
Thank you for that reminder, Ari. Thank you. Okay. And then aunties, Lynn or Ursula or
Yes, okay.
Lynn.
Yeah. Well, I don't have a fireplace and it's pouring with rain, icy rain outside, and it's dark. So next time I will try and join somebody else. I couldn't this time, but I will. But I just want to say, just speak about fire a moment, about what does fire represent spiritually. In many spiritual traditions, fire is considered to be a sacred element. Fire is often seen as a symbol of transformation, purification, and rebirth. In some cultures, fire is also associated with the sun and seen as a symbol of power and strength. When I was in a well-known park in England on the west side for the 1988 total eclipse, it was very poignant to remind everybody that there was only, I don't know, it was just a few minutes, but it went cold and it showed us how important the fire of the sun is. And I could see the energy. I opened my eyes at one point. Everybody had their eyes closed and meditating, but I opened it up, and there was this amazing energy coming from everywhere. And I think, you know, without the sun for too long, we would have a problem. I mean, there's going to be, I think it's 5 to 7 minutes of a solar eclipse in America on the April the 8th. So it'd be very interesting to see the impact of that. And fire can cleanse the earth, you know, it can burn the forests, and the seeds go underneath when it's too hot for the flowers to survive, and the seeds then come up and grow by using the charcoal, which is full of nutrients for the new growth of the new trees. So it plays many things. And finally, the fire we feel in our heart when we connect with unconditional love from the universe and send that love of fire out to everyone else to bring them love as well. So that I'm complete with that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Ursula, are you ready to share?
Yes. In respect of the living fire flame that makes and warms everything on this planet, without which life would never ever be able to grow, I am thankful and very moved to take part in this sacred ceremony of the 8th fire continuum and what it represents for the human race.
Thank you, thank you. Amanda, are you ready to share?
Yes, I would. Speaking later, but I would love to offer the rose, the petals of the rose here for my fire that I have in the grate here via candles. The strength of the rose, the protection of the rose with the thorns, the purity, the regrowth, the rebirth, the unification of the rose, and the blessing understanding of reciprocity in love. So to come into right relationship, to come into right balance, allows our own heart to bloom in that sacred fire so that it can widen and expand enough to allow the light of the fire to reach it. So in honor of all those whose wounds are exposed right now, or wounds are coming to the surface, or wounds who are ripped apart right now, may that be as wide as possible to allow the greater strength of fire and light and love in action to pour through you. And may we be transformed in this holy time, become whole, and understand the balance of giving and receiving in sacred rhythm and time and community. Aho.
Thank you, thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak into the space? Deborah, you are invited to unmute Mrs. Fair.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so honored to be here. I feel like this is an initiation. And with the fire, the second coming of the fire, this new kind of love. And I was just feeling into the firelight from the stars and how that penetrates us here differently than the sun. And yet equally, they're always shining on us, whether we can see it or not. So I'm just honored to be here and very grateful that I was given the gift of this background to use from the sacred fires. And thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. At this time, I would just like to bring in the water. We've had the fire come in. We've had the earth with my walk, and I would like to bring in the water and the air right now to complete the cycle here. Thank you.
Beautiful, Keith. Thank you so much for that beautiful body of water you're sharing with us. And that green grass. We don't have any of that green grass here right now. Oh, and the hawk. Very sweet.
Okay, I'm going to jump back. Ingrid, if you would continue to spotlight, I'd appreciate the help, sister. I just noticed I'm going to, David, are you there? David Cam?
Yes.
David, come on in, please. It's an honor to have you with us today. This is one of my dear friend brothers who is Indigenous. Come in, David.
Hey, how are you?
Can you turn on your camera so we can find you?
I'm in pajamas.
Oh, okay, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead. Share with us, David, on this sacred ceremony. Thank you.
Mm, well, on what topic would you like me to share? On fire or something else?
Relationship with fire, please. We're exploring relationship with fire experiences.
Actually, I went to Mexico City and sat with the Mayans and the Aztec, and they said that my protector is the phoenix, which is a bird that get reborn and they die through by fire and get reborn, and that fire actually is important because it's the symbol of the Mayans and the Aztecs told me. Then the numerical symbol of fire is 0, which represents eternity and renewal. It represents both the beginning and the end. And it's important that when we're saying that fire, like some speakers said, it's a form of renewal. So so let's say the some places on the earth, when there's a fire like a volcano, it is and then after like 100 years, the place is totally renewed with new forests and things like that. So it's important that for the fire, and the fire is one of the things that keep us warm as well. Without the fire, we would be freezing, and it allow humankind to exist, and not only to exist but to thrive, is because if you think about it, even our cars are based on fire. Actually, we call internal combustion engine, which and even a steam engine also is based on fire. Without that, we would not have transportation such as cars, airplanes, and the food we eat. So fire is extremely important to not only the ancient society but the modern society as well. And also in our brain, we actually have gold inside our brain, and there is sparks of fire that actually ignite our brain when we're actually thinking, and a transmission of information to our entire body. So it's funny that the sparks of our brain through the gold interaction of gold in our brain is actually the color blue. So blue is also a sacred color that represents the sky and everything else. So that's my sharing. Thank you so much. Complete.
Thank you, David. That's beautiful. Tell us your people, if you would. David, what is your ancestry?
My ancestry is I'm from the Hakka tribe, Hakka. We're one of the first one of the tribes to establish our own sovereignty. We created our country called Singapore. In 1965, we declared independence. and Malaysia sent their warships to try to quash us, the rebellion. But we partner with other countries and they protect us. That's how we gain our sovereignty, our tribe, so complete.
Beautiful. Yes, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, brother. It's really good to see you here with us today. Gail, I have not I don't see grandfather Alex. He he's a different time zone and he may have that all confused. We'll just carry on. If he shows up, we'll just honor him when he comes. And
Well,
so
you want to go ahead and sing our gratitude song and move on?
but let's here's the thing. I want to make sure everybody's had a chance to speak a blessing. So Becky, Mike has, Claudia, Amanda. Ingrid, do you spot anybody else besides yourself? I put her to work.
I was going to say, is there anyone who has not spoken into the fire? I actually realized I haven't spoken into the fire. So I will add that. I'm just feeling the prayers and the blessings that have already been offered. I have a little makeshift altar set up here, and I have my ashes from Palenque that I got from John, and on top of that, I have a candle because I can't really burn a fire in here, but just holding the space that the candle. I remember in my Christian upbringing that idea that this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let's just hold that space of the light in our hearts, the fire that is unquenchable, that is the divine spark within all of us. And let our divine spark shine. Let it ignite the spark that shines in others. And let it become a blazing flame that is a beacon calling everyone home together. I'm complete.
Oh, thank you, sister.
I want to add one more thing. This is David. I thought about.
Yes,
is that okay?
David, come on in. Yes.
Yes, there's also, when we actually give the sperm reaches the egg. I don't know if you know that there's a spark of fire. Actually, it's actually ignition in the blue light. There's actually energy transfer when we're the point of conception. So it's kind of interesting as well. You can just Google it, and they filmed it where the sperm reaches the egg and enters, breaks the cell wall and enters. There's actually a huge spark that is actually as hot as the sun. So that's kind of interesting as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Thank you for that, brother. Okay, I believe everyone spoke. Sister, let's do our gratitude song.
Okay, join me, everyone, please. Let's see if my original sound is going to work today. You may not be able to hear me when I come back.
You're good. Stars, my mother's compassion, relation, grandmother's is life,
That is our gratitude in our heart. Songs given to us by the spring on this mountain in the Lakota language because of our Nipikaga traditional ceremonies that we've held for so long. And this is our relationship to the land, the spirits on the land, the water, the fire, the air, the earth, and each other. So thank you all for being here. I'm gonna go on standby and I'll jump back in here if Grandfather Alex shows up, but we're getting kind of hungry, so we're gonna have to get some food. Thank you all so
Wado,
much.
sister, wado.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and timestamp this here, timestamp our recording. So as tradition in the gathering, when we close a recording, we say thank you to the energy in the room. And the energy today has been the sacred fire. Thank you, Grandmother Gail, and thank you to all of those that brought their fires to this sacred space and to all those that brought their prayer.